We are live. I'm so excited. I have a very special guest joining me tonight, and her name is Andrea Stenberg. She will be hopping on. She is a digital marketing strategist who specializes in video marketing, helping people get comfortable online. Who specializes in video marketing, helping people get comfortable on going by. Excited to have Andrea as our guest. She will be logging in shortly, and we will have her on here with us. So she has joined. So just waiting for the request. Actually, I just sent an invite to have her come up, and she will be joining us. There we go. Oh, okay. I didn't expect it to let you join that way, but that's cool. That is cool. Are you
Okay.
there?
Yeah, I'm here. So I don't see my
Awesome.
picture though. Are we supposed to be
Yeah,
in?
I didn't think. Yeah, I. That's why I didn't show mine because I know TikTok can be like that. So, but we're here. We're here, and these lives do very well on TikTok. So I'm really excited. I think this will take us about 30 minutes. Now, typically on TikTok, people go live for hour and a half, but I want to be respectful of your time. So just to let everyone know, we are here with my good friend Andrea Stenberg, who is a video marketing strategist. And what I wanted to chat with, what I invited Andrea on here to do is part of a collaboration, right? We are part of the same connection company, and we connected recently, and I actually went live with her on her Facebook business page last week. And this week we are here live on TikTok. We talked last week about lead magnets. That was the value that I brought to her audience. And I'm very excited to have her here tonight because you guys hear from me all the time. To hear from someone else on why showing up on video is a must in 2025. We're going to talk about breaking barriers and building business. So are you ready, Andrea?
I am Tamara, and thanks again for having me. This is my first time doing a TikTok live.
You are very welcome. If you are new here, my name is Tamara Hamilton. I am a certified digital marketing strategist. Andrea is more of a specialist. I am more of a generalist, though I do have some areas of specialty, like I said, around lead magnets and email marketing and content marketing planning and strategy. Okay, so as I've already said, we are going to deep dive into why showing up on video is no longer optional in 2025. It is absolutely essential. I'm here with Andrea Stenberg, who's a pro at helping business owners break through the fear and use video to build real client attracting momentum. So, Andrea, do you want to do a quick intro and give a brief bio of yourself?
Sure. So I've actually been in business since 2005, which obviously was way before any of us were doing video online. So I have a really solid offline marketing background, and I, gradually morphed into, first of all, using social media to promote my business, and then helping my clients do use the business or use it to promote their businesses. And then in 2018, I was really seeing the writing on the wall, like video was becoming more and more important. I figured, I better figure this out for me so I can advise my clients. And unlike a lot of marketing consultants who are helping people with video, I'm not a broadcast journalist. I didn't have professional broadcast training. I'm not a cameraman who like learned how to, film and television. I'm a business owner just like everybody else, and I had to learn all this kind of by trial and error. And my mission is to make sure that people don't make all the mistakes I made at the beginning so that you can kind of hit the ground running and get good results faster and easier.
I love that. I love that. So, what I'm hearing you say is you help people understand why they should not hesitate to show up on video. Did I say that the way I wanted to? I don't know. It came out the way
Yeah,
I wanted it
you know
to,
why
but
they shouldn't hesitate, and also how to make their video marketing fit and work together with their other marketing. Because one of the biggest mistakes I see when people come to me as clients is it's like their social media marketing, their website, their email marketing, they all work together and it looks, professional and branded. And then their video marketing almost looks like it's coming from another business because they know they're supposed to be adding video, but they haven't really figured out the strategy. And so I help them sort of combine the strategy of the marketing they're already doing that's working and adding video to make it more powerful, to make it more impactful, and to give them more reach than they would without video.
and what I'm hearing is alignment, okay? Because that's definitely something that a very discerning eye like mine will notice is when things just aren't cohesive and not flowing together. So I love that for you. So, Andrea, let's talk about the biggest barriers that people face when it comes to showing up on video. What do you see most often?
Well, the thing that people most often tell me, first of all, is they're intimidated by the tech or they don't like how they look. But I really think deep down, the thing that's holding people back is they really don't know what to say on camera, and then the other stuff gets in their head. But when you figure out what your messaging is, and your personal branding and your marketing message, then showing up on video isn't so different than showing up anywhere else. It's just having the confidence to know that you're saying the right things.
Okay, so how can someone simplify their video creation?
Well, when I start working with clients who haven't done a lot of video, one of the things that I have people do is most of my clients are most active either on Facebook or LinkedIn. And so I have them start with live video because you don't have to learn how to edit a video because that's a big barrier for some people. I know the first time I tried to edit video, I nearly threw my computer out the window. I was so frustrated. So live video, if you can find the button to go live, you can talk. And I mean, we've all gotten used to speaking on Zoom. It's not that much different.
Right.
And so, having that confidence. And then the other thing is to realize that you need to create different styles of videos for different places in the client journey. So the videos for people who haven't met you yet and don't know what you do are very different than a video you make for somebody who's been following you for 6 months. They know who you are and you're trying to get them to take the next step with you. So you need to have different videos for different phases of the client journey. And I find a lot of people get stuck in one mode. So they're either always looking for oh, I just want to go viral. I just want new people to discover me. And that's all they care about. But they don't do any of the nurturing or the educational pieces or the pieces that lets people see your expertise. Or, and this is the biggest one, I see a lot of coaches and course creators and anybody who's heart-centered get stuck in the teaching mode where they make videos where they're giving lots of value and they're showing their expertise and they're teaching, but they never tell people how to take the next step. And let's face it, if we could learn how to do everything just by watching a YouTube video, I'd know how to fix my car. I'd know how to
Right.
repair my furnace myself.
Exactly.
See, but because so when there's something you really need to do, yes, you need the education, but you also need some guidance, you need some personalized support and all that stuff. And so if you never make that offer to people and show people how they can work with you, why they can work with you, they're never going to get that result you want. So that's I think the biggest challenge for people is making sure they're covering all those different phases of a client journey. And that's where being strategic, because then you start planning out and you see, oh, I'm missing these types of videos. I need to make more of this type of video. And once you have that strategy and that plan, then it becomes a lot easier to be confident to go on camera.
Oh my God. Okay. So let's unpack because you literally just gave us a lot. You gave us a lot. Okay, girl. Okay. So the first one with you suggest that people start with going live. I absolutely love that advice. And I actually tell people the same thing because you don't have to do a lot of editing. And I love what you said about everyone being used to being on Zoom now. However, there are still those people who are just afraid to get on camera. They're afraid, they might go on Zoom, but they might not, they might always have their camera off. So what would you say to that person who is just like, they do not want to face the camera? And what benefits are there, even though we both don't have a camera on right now? What are trust me, there's hundreds of hours of video with my face showing. But what are the benefits of actually going live and showing your face?
Well, I mean, particularly for people who are selling their expertise, so coaches, course creators, if somebody's going to hire you, they need to have a much higher level of trust than if you're selling them a water bottle. Because if you sell somebody a $20 water bottle and it's not really great, that doesn't ruin their life. But if somebody hires you to help them grow their business or to help them lose weight or help them with their child's learning disability, they really need good results and they really need to trust you. And so by showing up on camera, first of all, lets people see that you're actually a real person. You're not some evil hacker from some dark parts of the web. You're a real live person. They also get a taste of your personality because you and I both know there's all kinds of different styles of coaches, and everybody's going to resonate. There could be a dozen people teaching exactly the same thing, but it's the style and the personality that's going to help one person, and another person's going to go, no, I can't work with that person. So letting people see you on camera and see how you engage with people, how you share the information. Are you really super excited? Are you laid back? Are you, do you curse and swear? Are you really mellow? Are you academic? Are you more down to earth? Will let people it gives the people a chance to kind of have a free trial before they've even given you their email address. It's such a low risk way for people to get a taste of what it might be like to work with you. And I've had people get on sales calls with me and say, I've been watching your videos and I can really see myself working with you. And that's the power of being on camera and letting people see who you are, and not just like the perfect job interview version of you, but like the real how you show up to your clients.
I love that. And because you also show your idiosyncrasies, right? Because I remember when I was doing makeup tutorials on my videos and people would complain because I wouldn't be able to find things or because I would drop makeup brushes, and I didn't care because it's like, this is legit how I am when I'm doing my makeup. It's like you're sitting across from me in the room like my best friend and we're having a chat. So if that bothers you, then this just might not be the live video for you. And so I could really dig deeper on here, but we do need to move on. But quickly before we do, I just want to say that I love what you said, and it was one of the first things you said about tying trust to video, especially like live video, and people knowing that you're a real person, because I've heard this time and time again about how we're currently in a trust deficit and how people don't know that the things that they see and hear online are real or not. And so if you are a one-person business, of course, it makes sense that people aren't going to trust you as quickly as they did in 2012, 2013, 2014. So that is the perfect segue into our discussion on why video is essential for business growth in 2025. So Andrea, we know video is taking over, but why is it such a elevation tool a next level growth tool for business owners right now?
Well, I mean, first of all the platforms are pushing video. Like Instagram was originally just for sharing photos, and now like video is like like one of the prime media on that platform. And they've got Instagram Live, Instagram Stories, Instagram Reels. They're pushing that. Facebook's own internal data is showing that people spend more time engaging and watching and commenting and sharing a live video than they do any other type of content on Facebook. LinkedIn. I was on LinkedIn back when there wasn't even a news feed. It was literally an online resume.
Yeah, I remember.
And yeah, and now LinkedIn is actually experimenting with a Reels type feed in some people's profile so that you could see short vertical videos. So I mean, the platforms are all pushing it, and I'm not saying we should be creating videos so that we're all working for Merck and Microsoft and all these other companies. But the fact is, as business owners, we want to be creating marketing content that's going to reach more people, and video is going to reach more people. So that's like number one. If you're going to do the work, you might as well do something that's going to reach more people, whether it's brand new people or people that are already following you. You want people who are following you to actually see what you're posting. But I really do think that, like, right now the hot button is AI, and everybody's using AI. And, full transparency, I use AI a lot too. But the problem is a lot of people are using it badly. And you can see
Yes.
when you look at posts, like you can see somebody went into ChatGPT and asked it to write a post, and they didn't edit it. They didn't do anything. They just posted it. And so what's happening is all these businesses that are doing that are starting to blend together and be generic. And that's the exact opposite of what marketing is supposed to do, right? Like
Right.
you're supposed to be trying to make yourself stand out and what makes you different. Well, there's nothing more different than you showing your face on camera, because unless you have an evil twin who's like identical to you but evil and trying to destroy your business, there's nobody who's got your face and your speaking mannerisms, your enthusiasm, but you. And so that right there, by showing up on camera, you've branded yourself. You're different from everybody else who's doing the exact same thing that you're doing.
So I've got a couple things to ask that to go just a little deeper on this. Are you noticing, because one of the things I'm noticing, especially like on YouTube, which I guess these folks over here don't really like us to say on their platform when we're live, but a couple of trends I'm noticing over there. One, I think, and this is true for IG as well. We have to speak a little coded on the Clock app, just so you know. Um, is that there seems to be this shift towards real unscripted content. And I will tell you, as you're probably getting a feel for, on the Clock app, live video tends to have a lot different feel and structure than on FB or IG, for example. Now, you can multicast. I will multicast. Typically, I'm not today right now, but I will typically multicast between FB, IG, LinkedIn, as well as IG, right? But I'm noticing that real unscripted content is really connecting audiences and even building community, especially on the Clock app. And I'm also noticing that longer form content, I mean live videos and live streams, because that's really what they are, that last for hours.
I mean, it does depend on your audience and also your skill. Like, and so when I'm working with newbies, people who've not done many video, I say, like, be kind to yourself. Don't try to go live for an hour when you're first starting out, because you'll
Oh,
give yourself a heart
absolutely not.
attack, right?
No.
But it is almost impossible to talk for less than 15 minutes if you have a topic that you know well, and that's what you should be talking about when you're doing marketing videos. But yeah, the unscripted, I think it's because, like, if you're watching, I don't know, commercial live television where there are commercials on it, what happens when a commercial comes on? You get up and go to the bathroom, you go and grab a snack, you go and flick to another channel, even if it's a show you want to watch. And so when people have really polished, like, slick editing everything's perfect in their videos, our brain starts going, oh, that's a commercial, and we start tuning out. Whereas when it's live and it's unscripted and maybe you stumble over a word or you're going, oh, what was that thing I was trying to, like people go, oh, this is real. Like this is a real person. This isn't an ad. What's going to happen next? And so they get, it feels more conversational than just, because this is supposed to be social media, which is supposed to be social and
And fun.
conversations and back and forth. It's not
Yes.
broadcast. We're not NBC or BBC or any of those C's or whatever. Like we're just people, and I think that's why people are resonating with the live and the unscripted, because it is real, and we don't. If people have Netflix, if you want something polished and professional and perfect, you could go to one of these paid, professional, fully produced things. But if you're looking to connect with other human beings, I think the live is just, it feels more like real people and not like a corporation.
And speaking of real people, I do want to acknowledge some of our viewers here. I saw my girl Danielle here. I'm not sure if she's still watching. Wanza, my internet bestie from New York, is here. My girl Tarlise, we go back way back. So we've got some heavy hitters in the audience, and I'm grateful for all of you to be here. And one thing I will say, Andrea, when it comes to video, because I've been warning people since 2018, not like Chicken Little, the sky is falling, more so the sky is opening up. The limit does not exist. That Facebook wanted to be primarily video by 2018. And here we are in 2024, and we're still having to convince people that they should be creating video, that they should be doing live stream in the first place. And in that time, one of the other things that I have noticed when it comes to video is this thing that I always say, and Wanza can concur with me on this. Video is residual. I can record a video once, and that video can play over and over again. I can even restream it live using software like StreamYard, and that video will generate customers. It will build community. It will give me residual impact for years to come. I had videos from 2013 and 2014 that were still building business for me in 2018 and 2019 for a business I had shuttered. And
Yeah,
that is, yeah,
that is absolutely true. Like you can do so many things with video, and then even not just the video. Like I have a workshop that I give sometimes. It's like how to take one video and turn it into 17 other pieces of content. And,
yes.
like you can take your transcript and turn it into a blog post. You can embed the video on your blog and then it's a blog post. You can send emails about the video. You could talk about a video you did on one platform on other platforms. Like there's all ways you
Yes.
can cross pollinate. And, sometimes I'll have people ask me, like, well, aren't my audience going to get bored of if I keep talking about the same thing and sharing all the same thing? And it's like, no, because nobody cares as much about your business and what you do as you do. And people don't really pay attention until they need you. I have
Right.
a story, it's not video related, but back, I used to belong to one of those networking groups where you meet every week, and you meet for lunch, and it's the same group of people every week, and you stand up and say, "Hi, I'm Andrea. I help people with their video marketing." And there was this one guy, and he and I were friends before we joined the networking group, and we a year every Thursday at lunch, he heard me stand up and say what I did. And after about a year, I was doing a workshop for an organization to teach them about how to use social media for their organization. And I posted about it on LinkedIn, said I'm running this workshop. And then this guy who I've known for ages, who we were in a networking group, and every week he'd heard me stand up and say what I did, sent me a message on LinkedIn saying, I didn't know you helped people with social media. Can you help
Oh
my
my
business?
God. It's so
And
true
this was
though.
in person. So you can
Yes.
see why online you need to repeat the message, because and it wasn't until he started thinking about getting his business on social media that he started paying attention to what I said.
Oh my goodness. That is absolutely. Absolutely sure. I can already see I'm going to have you come back on because, girl, my brain is going in like 30 different directions right now and really wanting a deep dive on some of this stuff. One thing I will say quickly, because we're coming up on 30 minutes, is and that's why I love to start with live video, is because I can take that live video and turn it into so many different pieces of content. I think I talked about that at one of the summits we were both guests on recently, is like how I have this whole framework for repurposing, resharing, redistributing my content. And I give that strategy in my Pin Profits Mastery course. It's just makes my life easy, right? Because it needs to come with ease and flow and bring me joy and come with ease and flow. So that's why I do I won't say bare minimum, but I go at it from the easiest angle that I can go from. So
It's
love that.
easy for you to, because it takes a lot of brain power to come up with new ideas and new topics, but it's also a smart marketing strategy because people need to hear the same message over and
And
over
over and over
again
again.
before they even remember that that's what you do. And then you need to keep it in front of them so when they're at the stage in their business or in their life where they're like, okay, I'm ready to take action, you want them to be thinking about you, not somebody else who just happened to post today. You want them to have heard that message repeatedly. And so it's just smart business practice all around to repurpose, reuse, repost the same content.
Oh, I love that because that's the perfect transition to actionable steps, right? So for those watching tonight who've been hesitant to jump in, what's the first thing they can do to get started with video? And it's at 26, right? We're at 26 minutes. We wanted to keep it about 30 minutes, but if you want to go longer, I'm in it. We can go for the long haul as long as you want to go.
Okay. Well, the first thing is, what's something that you talk about all the time in your business? Pick the thing that you're most passionate about, that you think people most need to hear, and plan a video on that. And just go, plan out your talking points. My favorite structure for a video is like 3 ways to do X, because it's really simple. You have your hook, your intro, whatever you want to say, introducing it. Then you have your 3 points, and maybe you have a story for one and an example for another and a statistic for the third point. And then your conclusion, your call to action. So it's really simple if you're just starting out. Jot them down on a piece of paper, so if you freak out, you could go, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be talking about this. And then just do it. And the nice thing about live video, particularly live video, is if you haven't been going live and you don't tell anybody about it in advance, like say you just go, I'm going to go live on Facebook today, then not a lot of people are going to show up. So it's kind of like giving yourself a chance to practice speaking. Like say you want to speak, give a TED talk in front of a live audience with 1,000 people. Well, you don't do your first talk as a TED talk. Maybe the first time you practice in front of your dog, and then maybe next time you practice in front of your husband and your kids, and then maybe you do your local networking group where there's 12 people, and you build up over time. And that's what live video does, is when you first start out, if you don't tell anybody in advance, you might not get anybody show up, but it gives you a chance to practice. And then maybe as you get a little more confident, then maybe next time you tell people ahead of time that you're going to go live. And maybe you get a few people showing up, and just gradually over time you build an audience.
And that's why I like having people start with something like making your coffee or doing your skincare routine or doing your makeup. So you kind of are also doing something which is going to make it feel more conversational and natural to you. And I see people pick up the skill a lot faster when they're making a sandwich, they're making their coffee, doing their makeup, taking off their makeup, doing their skincare, doing something other than just going live. It just makes it a lot more natural and fluid
I
for
have
them.
a student of mine who's a photographer, and one of the things she does in her live videos is she'll go grab her phone and go for a walk out in nature and film, because
Yes.
she does a lot of nature photography. So it's branded because a lot of her photography is outdoors, but it's also somewhere she's comfortable. So doing that,
Yes. I
just going
love
for a
that.
walk. And people go, oh, well, it's going to be jumpy. It's like, yeah, a little bit, but so what? It's real.
And
And
people know
it's,
it's a live stream. I
Yeah,
mean, how
people.
many people did we see about to blow away in the hurricane the last couple of days? Like newscasters, right?
Well, and you
People
know,
tune into that stuff. They love it. It makes it interesting.
and what's really interesting too is like Tony Robbins, like he's been doing video from back when we used to have to buy like VHS tapes from him and you plug them into your VCR, right? And he would have like professional camera crews. I've seen him do videos where he's clearly holding his own cell phone in his hand, talking to the phone and walking around doing stuff. So if it's good enough for Tony Robbins, it's good enough for us.
Oh my God, I love that you said that because I tell people all the time, never in history, and I mean never ever in history, has the regular person had the exact same phone and tool and access in the palm of their hand as the billionaire, soon to be trillionaires of the world. And not only do we have it, we can use it to literally wake up at zero and end the day up by as little or as much as we want to be using free apps like social media, Google Docs, and Canva. Then now it's just never been like this before. So that was Chef's Kiss, the perfect example. Now, one thing I want to do is encourage our viewers to challenge themselves to go live in the next 24 hours, even if it's just a few minutes. Okay. I did a challenge this summer where I went live. It started as 30 days and I think turned into like 60 or 90 days where I went live just about every day. I think there might have been 2 or 3 days where I didn't go live. And I started at my usual 15 to 20 minutes. Then I worked my way up to 30, then up to an hour because I'd always been of the mindset that when I was recording live, I was also going to be repurposing and uploading those videos to YouTube, right? And so I knew for YouTube, you didn't really at that time want to exceed about 20 minutes. So that's how I kind of structured my videos for the most part, unless it was a get ready with me, which would be about an hour. And I finally got up to, I think my longest one was 2.5 hours, but it's like working out. It's like a muscle. You have to work your way up to it and you have to develop that muscle. Okay. So now I would love to, if anyone has any questions, you can definitely ask those. And any last minute tips if while we're
Well,
waiting to see if we get any
Well, I
questions.
want to jump on what you said about like challenging yourself to go live every day. Because when I was first learning video, I did that. And just by making the commitment to yourself, like say, I'm going to do it every day for 30 days, it does. It's like, if you're trying to get in shape and you go, I'm going to exercise once a month, you're not going to get in shape. But if you commit, I'm going to go walk every day for 30 days, you're going to be in much better shape in 30 days than you were on day one. And it's the same with video. And that first time that I did a 30-day stretch, there was one day I was at my sister's and the house was really noisy and there wasn't anywhere. And I said, oh, I just won't do it. And they're like, no, I made that commitment. I'm going to do it. And the only place that was quiet enough for me to do it was in the bathroom. So in the bathroom, closed the door and did my live video. And I sounded like I was at the bottom of the toilet because it's an echoey room, but I did it. And after doing that, like, the confidence boost that I got, because I thought, okay, I just did this terrible video in a bathroom. I'm still alive. I haven't, like, nobody threw rocks at me. And if I could do that, imagine what I could do if I'm in my office and have the lights on and I can actually plan it out ahead of time. Like, I could do something really great if I could survive doing that crappy video in my sister's bathroom.
And ironically, I did just get a question over Messenger from Wanza. She wanted to know if there were any specific equipment that you would recommend for a beginner. Like, do you need a digital camera, microphones, or any of that?
Well, I mean, first of all, do not let not having gear stop you. So if you have a modern smartphone, like you don't have, like if you have a flip phone, maybe that's not good enough. But if you have a modern smartphone, that is a really good camera. So you could start just with that. If you have a little bit of money and you want to invest in one piece of equipment, a microphone is always going to improve the quality because like the video, the image, the lighting can be poor and not really great, and people don't mind as much, but people don't like really poor video. So a microphone is helpful, but it's like, don't wait to get started with
Right.
that. But even like right now we're live here on TikTok. I'm just using my headphones. I'm not using
Yes.
like a fancy microphone. When I go live for Facebook, I actually have a microphone. Well, if I'm going on my webcam, I have a microphone that I paid $30 for. When I go live, using my phone on Facebook and Instagram, I have two microphones. I have one that I paid about $50 for, and I have one that I paid $100 for. And it sort of depends if I'm in my office or if I'm outside and how noisy it is. The other thing is if you're filming yourself, a tripod is nice,
Yes.
but a shelf, leaning up against a shelf works. And you don't have to spend a lot of money on a tripod. I got a little cheap one that's got little bendy arms, and
Yeah.
it sits on my desk. But if I go outside, I wrap it around a tree branch, and then it works really nice. And I did not spend a lot of money on it. I think I got it on
Right.
Amazon for $20.
I 100% agree with you. For years, I made money doing makeup videos and marketing videos without any equipment, propping my phone up against my laptop or wherever, or holding it in my hands. So, if there were one thing I would definitely recommend right away, it would be good lighting. And again, you don't even have to make an investment. You need to stand in front of a good window with natural light coming through it. It's going to diffuse it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got a YouTube video that I created about lighting videos and talking about like
Oh,
that you
awesome.
don't have to buy new equipment. And I've show examples of like how to make it better and what looks bad without expensive equipment. And I have very 9 times out of 10, I don't use any artificial lights when I'm filming. Just occasionally, if I'm filming at night or if the weather is really gloomy and dark, I might turn on a light. But most of the time, I don't even use any lighting. I use like the window and I painted my office white to make it easier. But even outdoors, if you're smart about where you film, because if you're in direct sun, you get really harsh shadows. But if you can be in a shady area on a bright day or a cloudy day, is the best day to film outdoors because it's bright, but it's not like direct light. You don't get shadows
Right.
and harsh. You're not squinting at the sun.
Right. I also, if you go, you know where to go. I have, access to my Amazon store, and in my Amazon influencer store, I have at least two lists on video equipment, and like I think one of them is called like a blogger or YouTube idea list that has some great recommendations in there also. Okay, and I have another question here from Natalie, and Natalie wanted to know about scripting. She's just really nervous about what to say, and so she's asking, do you recommend a script at all?
I generally don't, although full confession, when I first started doing videos, I would write out a script word for word. But the problem is, because we're not professional broadcasters, if you have a script word for word, it starts sounding like I'm reading from, because like we're not used
Good
to
evening.
reading and speaking at the same time. So what I recommend is jot down your like main point form notes of what you want to say, and so that you have a reminder if your mind goes blank. If you're really nervous, write out a script, but then don't hold the script in front of you. I take a piece of paper and I jot down like the what's the intro, the three main points that I want to talk about, and the conclusion, and that's it. And then I ad lib the rest. And if there's a statistic I want to share, I'll write that down because I want to get it right. But I might put tell that story about Joe, and like I know what it is because I thought of it before we go, and then just go. And if you forget something, that's your next video.
I love that because my problem is never not. I never have the problem of not knowing what to say. I can get on and just talk, right? So I have to have the outline to keep me on track. So, so I don't
And
end up
and
down a whole other rabbit hole.
But the other thing about having the outline, and I think the weakest part for most beginners, and I still struggle with this, is the call to action at the end. And that to me, I think, is the most important part, because those of us who are experts, we can really talk about our subject. But then when you're like, what do you want people to do? Do you want people to share this? Do you want people to answer a question, leave a comment so that you get the algorithm going? Do you want people to download your free thing? Do you want people to send you a DM? You have to know that ahead of time. And so I think for a lot of people, so having the hook at the beginning, what are you going to say right at the very beginning? And what are you going to say right at the very end? Those are, I think, are really important to plan out, because you don't want to get to the end of a really amazing video and then go, oh, yeah, okay, I guess we're done.
That's gold. That is gold right there, because
And
I
I've
have
done
even
that.
had
I
that
have done
problem.
that. I have done that.
Yes,
Okay, I
I've
guess we're
done
done.
that.
See you later.
Yeah, yeah. So I like that, because I always teach and work with my clients on, you need to be intentional on every single piece of content. Where do you want to move people next to in the buyer's journey, like you mentioned earlier? That was awesome. And I have one last question here from Tim. Tim says he struggles with timing and staying on one topic maybe too long and not staying on a topic for long enough. So, how do you keep time and how do you stay on track when you go live?
Well, some of that is experience. Like the more you do live and speak on camera, the more comfortable you get. Also, like I said, when you if you've planned out approximately what you want to say, then you're going to know what's the next thing. The other thing that can be really helpful to really start improving your videos, it's really uncomfortable, but make sure at the bare minimum you watch the replay afterwards, because then you notice speech patterns, you notice, oh, I went on too long about that, or I repeated myself 4 times when I didn't have to. And then you start noticing some things. When I first started doing, even before video, when I was doing audio, and the first time I edited an audio, I was horrified at the number of times I said, And I actually, you know how when you're editing video and you have the little waveform with the up and down spikes, it's a graph.
Yeah.
I can look at a string of audio and go, that's where I said and sure enough it is, because I said so many. But the advantage of then listening to it, and when I started editing my own audio and now video, is when you notice something that you don't like, you can, like, I trained myself when I don't know what to say next, rather than going to just be quiet. And it's not that I never say I do, but I say it less. And that's really all we can ask for, is try to get a little bit better than you were before. So plan what you're going to say ahead of time. Maybe, if you're beginner, practice in your office or your home without the camera on a few times, just so you get comfortable with what you want to say, and then just go for it. And then, once you've done a few, then start watching the replay and start noticing. But try to be kind to yourself, because you're going to be your own worst critic. There are things that I've noticed in my videos, and I've commented to other people about them. They're going, "What are you talking about? That was great." So be kind to yourself, but just notice if there's something that you do repeatedly. One of the things for me that I had to really learn is, when I get nervous, I speak really, really fast and go really, really fast. And that's hard for people if the whole video is really fast. So I've had to, kind of remind myself to periodically slow down or pause and give
Yeah.
people a chance to catch up. And I'll tell you a really funny story about speaking really fast. One time I was going live on Facebook, and I got into this role and I was really excited and I was going really fast. And Facebook actually cut off my live video and said, "You're speaking so quickly, you must be a spammer."
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, I've never heard of that happening to anybody
No,
before.
that is hilarious.
So, and some people get really, tongue tied or stumble. We all have our quirks that we do. So if you pay attention and what it is you do. So if you get tongue tied, pause, take a deep breath, and then continue. If you talk too quickly, maybe make reminders to yourself to occasionally take a breath and slow down a little bit, or change your speech pattern. But it's really practicing and and recognizing, like, the first videos I made were horrible. And give yourself permission. My favorite writing guru, Natalie Goldberg, has this book called Wild Mind, and it's about writing practice and getting creative with your writing. And her rules of writing, one of them is give yourself permission to write the worst crap in the world. And
Yes.
I use that with my videos too. It's like, give myself permission to make the worst videos in the world. And nobody can make the worst video in the world because I claim that. I've already done that. So you can just go on and make new videos. But give yourself permission, because the nice thing is, if you go live and it really truly is terrible, you could always delete it.
Exactly. I don't do it often, but I have done it. Yeah, I
But
don't do it
you know what's
often.
funny is, one time I was recording a video, and I wasn't going live. I was pre-recording. It was going to be a short video. And just as I hit record, I sneezed. And it was like one of those full body, like, I don't know how I didn't die sneezes. And I was going to delete it and start again. And I thought, you know what? No. And I posted it, and the title was "Nobody's Perfect, Just Keep Going." And it got so much engagement.
I'm so glad you didn't delete it. I was going to say, because that is the perfect pattern interrupt. That is the perfect non-visual cue and hook to open a video with. Like that's incredible. I'm so
And,
glad you didn't delete it.
and so one of the things I've started doing now is, whenever I have a really funny blooper somewhere when I'm recording video, is I save a bunch of them, and periodically I'll put together my own
Yes.
blooper reel and just post them to remind people, like, we don't have to be perfect. We're not perfect. We're human beings, and just have fun with it. And if you have fun with it, your audience is going to feel that energy. Because when I tried in the early days to be really perfect and really serious and corporate and professional Andrea, I was so boring. Nobody wanted to watch those videos. But when I finally, like, let myself go and be myself, and have my big curly hair and my bold colors and my crazy jewelry, and just, like, be myself, that's when I started connecting with my audience, because people could sense that this was the real Andrea. The
Right.
corporate Andrea wasn't the real Andrea. The corporate Andrea was some stuck up, annoying, boring person.
Oh, I love that, because so many people, especially of certain ages, they just want to be corporate. They want to be perfect. They want to be polished. They want to be Pollyanna, and that nobody wants that. No, trust me, nobody wants that.
Well, but especially if that's not your nature. Like, if you really are serious and corporate and very professional, but you know your stuff, a certain type of people are going to resonate with that.
On
But
LinkedIn,
if that's not who you really are, people are going to sense the disconnect between what you're presenting and what's really going on inside. And that it feels, they don't necessarily know it on a conscious level, but it feels like you're lying, because
yeah,
what you're saying
it comes
and what
across
you're feeling is
extremely
different.
fake. Out of the,
Yeah.
what do they call it? Tone deaf and just out of touch. From my point of view, I just find it horrendous. So you have been awesome as a guest, as a co-host. You just have been great.
Oh, this has
I
been so much fun. I'm so glad we had this chance to
yeah,
do
I
it.
definitely am going to invite you and have you come back, because girl, I can talk. And I didn't want to scare you and say, okay, Andrea, this is your first time going live on TikTok. We're going to go live for 2 hours. But I literally could sit here and talk. I mean, because anybody who knows me knows marketing is a part of who I am. I will talk marketing until I fall asleep. Okay. And then having someone here like you, that we can just flow back and forth and talk marketing and really nerd out like this, is completely my jam. So I'm definitely going to have you back when you can just block out some time, and we can maybe even get some other people here with us and just nerd out all things marketing. Before we go, I do want to let people know, if you are watching this, if you've made it this far and you are struggling with what to say and to actually turn your lives into sales, go to the LINKMIBIO and go to the script. I believe it is only $45, and it is a script that is helping people go from zero to making hundreds and even thousands on their streams in just one stream by following this script. It's very easy to follow. It is not anything intensive that it's going to take you 6 months to learn. You can download it, look it over, and go live and do your thing. Okay. Now, the last thing I want to do is say, do not wait to feel until you are ready to get started with video. Action is going to beat perfection every single time, hands down. Show up now, show up beautifully and perfect, and watch how it transforms your business. If you want more insights and help with video, stay connected and we'll keep the conversation going. So, Andrea, where can people find you?
Well, before I tell that, well, I'll say that. But I would like to offer anybody who's listening, if you go
Oh,
out and
girl, let's
make a
go ask.
video, if you make a video in the next couple of days, send Tamara and I a DM and say I did it, and we will celebrate with you. So,
Absolutely.
and I've got
Absolutely.
to say, I've kind of been neglecting TikTok a little bit lately, but you've inspired me to like come back and spend more time here. So I'm going to be doing more TikTok. So I'm here on
Oh,
TikTok,
yes. And if you
and
want to go live together anytime, I love collaborating on
absolutely,
TikTok.
I would.
It is a great way to actually build your following and build audience and actual community on TikTok is live video. And not enough of us, especially like Gen X and Boomer, are taking advantage of that as one person businesses. So I'm so
Yeah,
happy
I'd be
to
happy to
have
do
done
that
that with
again.
you.
I'm also over on IG. I'm on FB. I'm on LI. I'm, Andrea Stenberg. You will find me. The LINK is in my BIO for
Look
IG.
at
So
you.
yeah, I'm a quick study.
You are. You get it, girl. Get it, girl. Now, do you have a gift for everyone watching today?
Yes, I do. I have, it's my 7 essential videos for explosive growth. Because remember, we talked about videos for different stages of the client
Yes.
journey. And so these are 7 live videos that you can make. And so if you do one live video a week, that's 2 months of videos to make. And there's videos for different stages of the client journey. And it's over on my IG. You can go there and find how to get it.
Perfect. And is your IG linked in your bio?
It sure is.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Andrea, you have been the absolute best favorite guest. You happen to only to be like one of three, but I'm going to be doing this more. And I like this format. I feel like this is the beginning of a podcast. And so, this will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. So if you want to embed it on your blog, you can. I will also be emailing it to my multiple thousand email list, getting it on my blog, and it will be going in my circulation, both on my blog and to my my video syndication strategy as well. So we will definitely get your name and what you do, because you do a great job at it, out there for more people to know about you. Okay?
All right, that sounds perfect. And I look forward to having more conversations with you because
I do
it
as
is so
well.
much fun to find a fellow marketing person who loves to just talk the talk and share ideas and what works and what doesn't and have some fun. So thank you so much. This has
You're
been
welcome.
a
And I love
lovely
that
way
you
to
had
spend an
real
evening.
client stories too. That makes such a huge difference. So thanks everyone for watching. Thank you again, Andrea, and I will see y'all on the next live. Bye-bye.
Bye.